and welcome to Hardware Heaven. Today I'm going to be taking a look at another mouse, specifically a hybrid wireless to wired mouse. It's their bloody range RT5A mouse. Now, just to clear up a little bit of confusion, there is an RT5 and an RT5A. A means that it has been unlocked essentially for the third and the fourth cores. Now, I'll go into all of the information about the cores in a second, but the RT5 basically means that it is unlocked on 1 and 2, and then RT5A means that it's unlocked throughout 1 to 4. You can, however, purchase the RT5, decide later on down the line that you want the unlocked version with the extra 3 and 4 cores, essentially profiles, and purchase it separately to sort of unlock it and upgrade it. Like you would a DLC on a game, you purchase it, then it will unlock your mouse, etc, etc. So that's how those work, in case you were confused, because you had seen the two different product models. So I just want to go over some information on the box very quickly, because on the back of the box they have a lot of interesting information about the product. So we have up to 20 million clicks, 1 millisecond ultra fast response rate, gear style weapon switch, textured soft rubber design, 16 grade calibration, armor boot double metal X glide plates on the bottom, 4000 CPI with 5 different levels with a power saving optical engine. We've also got information here on their various technologies built into the mouse as well. So now let's start by taking a look exactly what you get in the box. We get the mouse itself, a bloody handprint sticker, a gaming gear sort of pamphlet to detail all of their gear and stuff in their peripherals line, and a quick guide for setting up. We get the mini little wireless connection router, which you can actually store in the bottom of the mouse like this. We then get the wired cable that we can plug into the front of the mouse. Remember that last wireless hybrid video I did for TTE Sports where I said I would love it if I could just plug the cable straight into the mouse? Well, this mouse has that. I'll show you exactly what I mean by that, but it's absolutely perfect. It's everything that I would want from a hybrid mouse. And then we also get the USB stand to plug the little wireless router into, and then we have the USB port on the other side. So if you don't have a port on the front of your PC and you're wanting to have it wireless, you can plug this into the back of your PC and have this sitting on your desk closer to your mouse. So let's take a closer look at the mouse. We have our typical left and right clicks, our scroll wheel located in the middle here. We've then got 1, N, 3 and 4, and these are basically indicators to change the profile. So I can move this forward to change it to 1, back to N, or press 3 and 4 to change those profiles there. We then have 2 buttons on the left hand side. Now these are plastic buttons. They feel a little bit sort of weak. There's no resistance on there at all. I much prefer rubbery finish buttons on the side of a mouse, but it's people's preference. These are hard plastic. The entire mouse feels like it's made out of completely plastic, really. If you tap it here at all, it does feel like plastic. However, it does have metal X-Glide foot pads here. So normally these are plastic, they do wear away or peel off. These are metal, so they will last a lot longer. But if you didn't have a mouse mat, you would hear that they do scratch on the surface. So you are going to use a mouse mat that is specifically for either a speed or a no resistance, because it would catch on the sides of the metal. Now, as I said earlier, you can plug this cable directly into the front of the mouse. So we actually plug it in right here, and I'm just going to show you how you do that. It is a little bit fiddly only because you need to figure out exactly the right position that you push in this wire so that it will go into the slot. So there we go, it's all plugged in now. So that is the mouse, what it looks like when it is in wired mode. You wouldn't know the difference, you wouldn't realise that this was a hybrid mouse. It's completely secure, it's not going to come out, it's flat to the touch, so it's not going to get in the way, and you can use it as normal. Now, if you want to use it wired, we just unplug this. We don't need to plug anything else into the mouse. It doesn't make it any more bulkier. It stays exactly as it is. We just input this wireless router into the PC either directly or using that extension cable. It definitely has a nice rubbery grip on the top here, but you do have to be careful. It might get a little dirty. You can already see here that from the past week of using this, I have got a fingerprint here, and that's just because I wear makeup residue stays on my hands and then it will transfer. So you will have to bear it in mind. It takes no problem to clean it. It's just a normal rubbery surface. Any sort of face wipe or, you know, sanitizing wipe or anything like that will be fine, and then just make sure you dry it properly so it doesn't affect the rubber. I really like the finish here. It is a very nice design, although it is extremely light. It's almost too light for me. It doesn't have any sort of weightiness to it, and because it is made of plastic, or as it seems to be made of plastic, this does not feel like metal on the bottom here, and this definitely is not metal on the side. So it's extremely light and almost feels a lot cheaper than it actually is, which is very unfortunate just because of the weightiness. I always feel that mice that are heavier almost feel like they're more expensive and better made. So that might affect some people. If you do prefer a weightier mouse, then bear that in mind. Here we have the mouse plugged into the PC so you can see where it is illuminated. As you can see, we have a pulsing bloody hand here. The scroll wheel lights up, and on the side of the mouse, it lights up a lot as well. And then you can see the light coming through the ridges on the side there. Now, one thing to point out, because it is plastic on the left-hand side, there is no sort of grip on the thumb. Although you do have these cut-out inserts to feel with, it's not that grippy, and I find that they did make it a rubbery finish on the top to make it grippy and sort of anti-sweat. But because the side of the mouse isn't like that, I find it would get quite slippy if you do tend to get quite a sweaty palm after long periods of gaming. The backlighting is very, very nice. I like the way that the sides and it goes all the way around the mouse lights up. I find that is a very, very nice touch. So let's really get into the meat of this review. Bloody like to talk about the technology that they have with the mouse and the various things that you can do with it. So I'm just going to load up the drivers now and show you really what they have to offer, what customization it offers, and really what you can do with the mouse with the software. Okay, here you can see the drivers. We're just on the main page when you open it up. Now, as I was talking about before, these are the different cores. Now, we've got core 1, which says is suitable for role-playing and real-time strategy, aka RTS games. So you can select that one. It will then essentially disconnect your mouse, change the core, and then reconnect it. So now we're in core 1. We also have core 2, and this is suitable for primary SPS games, and we can have 1 for single shot, N for 2 burst shots, 3 for 3 burst shots, and 4 for 4 burst shots. As I showed you on the mouse, we've got those different options, and what that essentially means is when you are in 1, if you left click, you'll get 1 fire of the gun. When you're in N, you'll get 2 fires, 3 fires, 4 fires. So instead of having to repetitively mash your left click button, you're able to set that. So if you are using a specific gun and you want 4 burst shots out of it, you'll go to 4, left click once, and you'll get those 4 shots. Then in Ultra Core 3, this is for headshots, suitable for senior FPS games. So this essentially helps you get those headshots if you're using a sniper sort of gun. That would be beneficial. And then lastly, Ultra Core 4 is used for MMO or RPG games. You're basically able to implement multi-key complicated commands
like macros, and you're able to simplify those into one key command. So you can set either the 2 buttons on the left hand side or 1, 2, 3 and 4 to be those commands, or you can switch the profiles, whichever you like. So we're going to start with core 1 to take a look at some of the customizations there. So if we go to button, you can see that the buttons are mapped out here. If we wanted to change one, we could simply just click it and then change it to either a keyboard key, mouse key, office hotkeys, or a multimedia key. So we can have shut down, sleep, whatever we want. And then we've got CPI cycling as well there. So we can do that for any of these keys. We can then switch the profiles from standard, gaming 2 or gaming 3, and we can manage the profiles there as well. We can also change the sensitivity. So you can see here that we've got 3 different sections. If we wanted to change the sensitivity, we could increase those. So we could say we want 5 different sections, and then we would manage each of the sections to what the DPI we want and the key response. So this is currently at its lowest, which was 1. And then we've got the report rate, the sensor calibration. So you would use that on different surfaces. So if you wanted to use a different mouse mat from either speed or precision, you could then calibrate the mouse mat there. We've then got the guard area of the drivers. So we can see here that my mouse has 0% battery. This is extremely useful. It can notify you when you're on low battery, so I know that I need to plug it into wired and charge it. We're then able to all of the other areas of the software here. So we've got the RF synchronize, we've got the 0 frequency offset, exclusive channel, RF signal detector, and enable transmission boost, and you're able to calibrate those. We've then got the lighting here as well, so we're able to see how bright we want that lighting to be, and we can decide whether we want to wake up the mouse by moving it or waking it up by clicking it, because it will go to sleep after a certain amount of time without being used. And then on the About tab, we've got some information regarding A4 Tech and basically what their bloody range is all about. So those are all the settings for core 1. Obviously, if we then change this to core 2, we will see that the options are pretty much the same. You're able to change between the 2 profiles. You just have a few different options there. So we aren't able to actually change 1, N, 3 and 4 because obviously they relate to how many burst shots you get. So depending on what core you have, depends on how much you can customize the mouse. Overall, I really like the design of the mouse. I think it's extremely clean. I really like the backlighting. The way it glows is very, very nice, and I think it's very aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Although the build of it is very sort of plasticky and light, which makes it feel cheap, and also if you are someone who prefers a heavier, weightier mouse, you're gonna have a problem because you're not able to customize that. Even though it does say it is aimed at all kinds of gaming, FPS, RPG, MMO, I do find that this is more aimed at the FPS players. It does have some customization for MMO players. As you could see, you could have your macros and bind them to certain keys, but because it does only have 2 keys on the left side with the thumb buttons, really MMO players need at least 10. So depending on how you play, you might have an issue with that as well. However, this is a great FPS mouse. You really will love the calibrations for different weapons, the recoil assistance, and all of those things that really do benefit you as an FPS player. But if you don't play FPS, you'll struggle to really get the customization that you need and want out of another type of mouse. As an example, the Logitech G range of mice and the Razer Nagas have a lot of customization specifically for MMO players, but wouldn't have that customization for FPS players. So this is definitely a mouse that is more aimed at FPS players, and I would definitely give this a recommended award if you are into FPS games. But if you aren't, then I would definitely check out some other mice from the range, because there may be one that definitely benefits you a lot more. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!